Good morning, everybody. Chris Baptizer here. I just learned a valuable lesson. And it started June of last year. I wrote a book called The Love of Jesus. Now, there's two reasons why I wrote it. First reason is technically it's inspired by TikTok. Because TikTok has a lot of false teachers. People who are basically saying Jesus is not God and Jesus wasn't divine. Jesus was created. Therefore, he can't be God. Well, my book, The Love of Jesus, debunks all that. Second of all, the Lord told me to write a book, and he gave me the title, which, of course, is The Love of Jesus. Now, the main purpose of writing this book is so that way I can raise up the money to build my own church. Most churches today either have a board of directors who basically hire in a pastor to shepherd their church, or the pastor relies on the congregation to financially support the church. I won't have to do either one, because once I get my book sold, which I have paperback, hardback, and ebook, I have a few other videos before this one that has a link that you can go to. And it's through Christian Faith Publishing. It's already available. Now, I wrote the book and got it started publishing June of last year. And it took 10 months to get it published. It didn't become available until around March, I believe, of this year. Satan knows what I'm doing. And Satan wants to prevent me from spreading the message about Jesus, the good news about Jesus. Now he wants to try to prevent me from spreading his message. I've gone through a lot since I published this book. Lived in a house for 5 years. Shared a house with another guy. Paid my rent every month on time. And then the landlord decides that she wants to fix the house up and place it on the market. So me and Warren got evicted. Understandable. Spent a month looking for a house or an apartment. Couldn't get nothing. So I was homeless for about a month and a half. This was around June, 2 months ago. And then I wound up, of course, I have a job. Which got the book published. You know, I paid installments to get it done. And been at that job 3.5 years. And then eviction came, as I said. Now, mind you, I'm still working at my job. I get an apartment that came available, a studio apartment. And then an accident happened at work. Nobody got hurt, but I got drug tested. I was sent to the hospital to get the drug test done. Been off work, even though my job is still active. Been off work or suspended for almost a month, until I finally received a message from HR telling me that the results are finally in. You are cleared to come back to work on Friday. This was yesterday when this happened. This is Thursday morning. I finally actually go back to work tomorrow night. But however, while I have this apartment, I didn't tell my landlord about the situation with the drug test. And someone at work had told her that I got fired, which didn't happen. So the landlord asked me about it, and I told her, I would have the rent for her Wednesday. Well, of course, wouldn't have the rent Wednesday. So she evicted me too. So yesterday evening, I get, as I said, I get a text message from HR telling me to come back in Friday night. I'm cleared. So I get to go back to my job. However, I'm homeless again. But that's okay. That's all right. The whole point of this message is what Satan means for evil, God will turn it around and turn it into something good. We, as believers who have the Holy Spirit, who are sealed by the Holy Spirit, need to trust God We need to trust in the process. No matter what Satan does, no matter how evil, whatever he does evil, he will turn it around and make it into something good. We must trust the process. And to be honest, I got used to paying rent every month. The whole entire 5 years I've been back in Versailles. However, this lady wanted rent paid every week. It was $1,100. I tried to get her to allow me to pay it once every month. She wouldn't have it. She would not have it. She wanted the rent done every month or every week. That made it harder on me because I was so used to paying it by the month. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the studio apartment. It was a small studio apartment. Barely enough room for 2 people, let alone 1. But she evicted me because I was behind on rent. Due to my job suspending me over a drug test. No biggie. I'm just glad I wasn't fired. So, now I'm homeless yet again. But I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. Satan can't stop what God has planned. He can get involved and try to ruin it. But what Satan means for evil, God works it out for good. And I'm finally understanding that. Finally understanding it and experiencing it. So I'm not worried. Satan can kill my body, but he can't have my soul. Because my soul belongs to Jesus. And it always will belong to Jesus. Satan is trying to prevent me from spreading the good news about Jesus to everyone. But it doesn't matter where I go or where I'm at. I will always spread the message of good news about Jesus Christ, no matter where I'm at. Even on the street. So, I've got a lot of projects coming up. One, I have an agent who is basically telling me that a director or producer wants to turn my book, The Love of Jesus, into a documentary. And it turns out that the producer is one of the producers that co-wrote Bourne Ultimatum. I think his name is Scott Burns. Scott Z. Burns. That's just what my agent tells me. I don't know nothing about him. But I looked him up earlier this afternoon while I was eating dinner. And found out, that he's one of the co-screenplay writers for the Bourne Ultimatum. And my agent said that they're wanting to get as many producers involved in this production as possible. So, I really don't know what all this means because I've never been through anything like this before, and it's new to me. But I'm leaving it all in God's hands. I am basically doing everything I can to invest my money into my books. I've got another one that's already. I've got another one that's a manuscript that's already been approved. I'm trying to get the money up to do it, get it published. It's called The Seven Churches, and I'll explain the seven churches later. And then I'm also writing another manuscript called Running from Jesus. So, The Love of Jesus is already published. I'm working on trying to get the seven churches published. The Seven Churches is a sequel to The Love of Jesus, and Running from Jesus is the third book. So my hands are slightly tight right now, but I will get everything done. Right now, I'm investing everything I can in the love of Jesus, trying to do every avenue that there is, leaving no stone unturned. And then once that's done, as far as the love of Jesus, then I should be able to get the seven churches published, which will take about 14 months to get published. So, yeah, that'll have that one done. And then I've got to work on the Running from Jesus, the third one. So, yeah. The main short of the story is Satan. Whatever Satan does for evil, God's going to flip it around and turn it and make it into something good. We, as the church, need to get used to that. So, I'm not worried. I trust my Lord. I trust Him above anyone else. Because there's a lot of people that are lost, that don't know Jesus, that are not saved. And there's a lot of Christians who are heretics, who claim they're Christian, but they talk bad about Him, which is contradictory. That's evil fruit. That's spoiled fruit. Like Jesus said, a tree is known by its fruit. If it has spoiled fruit, it's evil. If it has good fruit, it's good. So again, the moral of the story is, whenever Satan does something evil, God can turn it around and make it into something good. Bottom line. You just got to trust Him on the process. God bless.